you and the Hoff ever...
Oh, no.
Really?
No!
He must have tried, sure.
Never. It's starting to feel surreal to me, too. Am I lying? Am I telling the truth? I don't know. When does this air so I know when to be out of town?
Pamela.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay. Be nice to me.
Pamela Anderson. How excited are you right now?
I have no idea what we're going to talk about, so it'll be spontaneous. We'll see what happens.
Here's what we're going to start with. So, when you did your first Playboy shoot, you were given a Q&A, a Playmate data sheet.
Yes.
And these are some of your answers. When you were asked your ambitions, you said to be a wonderful wife and mother,
Oui.
which you've achieved,
Thank you.
and to win an Oscar.
That's coming. Don't worry. That's coming soon.
You said your turn-ons were sincerity, honesty, strong arms, waffles and fried chicken.
Not fried chicken anymore.
Really?
Well, I'm a
Of course, you're
vegetarian and vegan,
Of course.
yes.
You said your turn-offs were possessive men, jealous people, insensitive people and split ends.
That's you. I know. I've come a long way, hopefully, since then.
Are those still turn-offs for you?
Yes, but it's inevitable. Possessive men.
Are all your men possessive?
Yes.
Do they have good reason to be?
Yes.
I'd imagine you could be quite a handful, Pamela, to be in a
couple
relationship
handfuls.
with. Oh, moving swiftly on. You said your Valentine's Day plans were cooking a great dinner for a special man, wearing my sexy little French maid outfit.
Oh, I just did that. Perfect.
You did?
Not too long ago, yeah. I'm living in France, so...
You don't actually wear a French maid outfit to cook, do you?
I have.
Recently?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I love this. I love
This really is the
lingerie.
stuff
I
of
love
dreams,
it.
isn't it, Pamela?
I live a dream. I live my dream. I'm very brave.
How often
And you
do
have to be very brave to be a good lover. You have to have fun and enjoy it, playfulness.
So how often does the French maid outfit come out?
Well, maybe once a boyfriend.
I'm going to be rude now.
OK.
Because I'm going to be ungentlemanly. I wouldn't normally ask a woman her age, but I just want you to say how old you are.
50.
Do you care about getting older?
I don't chase youth. Youth chases me.
And is it all au naturel? No help from plastic surgeons?
No plastic surgery. But, you know, facials and laser, you know, and fun. There's lots of good tricks you can do now.
Botox?
With, I've tried Botox and I look terrible. Everything sinks.
It stinks and it stays
I
frozen.
have a big forehead, so this is not a good option for me.
You have got quite a big forehead.
I know, like you.
Yes. Are you attracted to men with equally big foreheads?
Yes. Big head is good, yes.
Yeah, I think a big head's very important.
I think it's very important, yeah.
This is really going a lot better than I thought it would, I gotta say. You've had millions of fans over the years. Have you had any weird ones?
Yes. Well, there's been dangerous ones as well. It's people, you know, getting into my house and slicing their wrists and wearing my Baywatch bathing suit and...
This happened. I mean, a woman broke into your house, didn't she?
Yes.
And for 3 days,
She was
while
there.
you were there with your kids, she was living in one of your guest rooms without you realising.
Right. My dad came and I was preparing the room for him and there was a woman in there with... she had bleached blonde hair and she was wearing my Baywatch bathing suit, tucked in bed. And she had written a letter saying, I'm not a lesbian, I just want to touch you. And she was wearing my bathing suit. And the police got it from her and wanted to give it back. I said, no, it's OK, you can keep that.
I mean, that's pretty terrifying.
Terrifying, yes. It comes along with it. You just have to protect yourself and you have to be aware of it.
When you began filming, did you have any concept of just how big Baywatch was going to get?
No idea. I had no idea. And we started traveling. We came to London first, actually. My first time to Europe, came to London. And I remember paparazzi going crazy and, like, running backwards and falling over themselves. And I thought, well, who's here? Looking behind me. What's going on? Who's here? I didn't realize it was for us. So then we realized, wow, people are watching the show.
And what was it like to work with the Hoff, David Hasselhoff?
He's very funny. I mean, he's a caricature of himself. he likes to gamble, and we'd be doing a scene together, and he'd be betting on sports, and foam would fall in the ocean, and he was, you know.
Did you and the Hoff ever...
Oh, no.
Really?
No!
He must have tried, sure.
Never, never.
He never tried?
Never. The
Really?
rest of the cast did, but not...
Before all this was the Playboy approach. How did that first happen? When did Playboy first come after you?
People came up to me in Vancouver and asked me to pose for Playboy a few times, and I said no. No, I was kind of shocked. And then Marilyn Grabowski, one of the editors at Playboy, had my number of my home, and I was engaged at the time. I was engaged a lot.
Yes. 8 or 9 times, I think.
I think more.
Yeah.
But, I had a lot of rings, and I gave them all away. A lot of my friends have diamond rings. My mother has a lot. So I remember being with my fiancé, and the phone rang, and I picked up the phone. They said, "Hi, this is Marilyn Grabowski from Playboy. Do you want to come and shoot a cover? Come to Los Angeles." I said, "Okay." And she said, "If we like the cover, we'll use it." And I said, "Well, call me when it's for real." I hung up the phone. And the phone rang immediately after and said, "It's for real. We guarantee you the cover."
Did you have any reservation? Did you talk to your parents about this?
Well, I called my mother, and she said she'd do it.
Straight away?
Straight away. It gave me a chance to kind of get out of a small town. And I'd never been on a plane before. So it was my first plane ride to LA.
Ever?
Ever. And I landed on Gay Pride Day. And I called my mom and I said, not only do gay people exist, they walk around in hot pink shorts, handcuffed together, on floats, and it's a parade. I think I've arrived. This is where I need to be. I feel accepted. This is me.
Let's look at the first cover that you did for Playboy. What do you think when you see that?
Well, they had to get it in the first roll of film because I was so nervous. And I remember a woman touching my breast. I was so shy.
Exciting, nerve-wracking?
I was nauseous.
You were physically sick from nerves?
Yes, physically sick from nerves of a woman touching my boob. Now I love it. I really wanted to get over the shyness. And it really helped because I realized as I was shooting in front of somebody partially nude and no one really cared, it just helped me with my entire life.
It gave you self-confidence.
It gave me self-confidence, but it also made me realize other people don't care as much as you do about yourself. I was so critical of the way I looked and my body and...
I mean, I can see there were so many flaws, obviously.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
lots.
particular imperfections were you most concerned about?
Girls are just really hard on themselves. And then you realize, now I tell women, just the sexiest thing you can be is confident. No one else is as critical as you are of yourself. And when you're really just free with your life, your body, it's so much more attractive.
Are you as happy now with the way you look as you've ever been because you're more self-confident now?
I'm just as happy and just as unhappy, I guess, but I'm a little braver. You know, I'm a little more courageous when it comes to, you know, just being who I want to be.
You gave a speech at the launch of your charity, the Pamela Anderson Foundation, and you referred to a few incidents. One was when you were molested by a female babysitter.
Yeah.
When you were pretty young. I think you were like, 8 or 9, I think that happened.
I had a babysitter, and she molested me for, I think like a year. And I was between the ages of 4 and 8, somewhere around there. But I remember wishing her dead, and she ended up dying the next day.
Really?
Yes, in her graduation, in a car accident. And I thought, OK, now I've killed her. I'm magic. I can't tell my parents about this, and I've killed her. And, so I started believing that I had this special power to kill people. So I was scared to tell them that this happened, and I was also scared to tell them that I killed her.
When did you tell your parents?
Years later.
Let's go back to the more innocent days of your childhood. You were born in Ladysmith, Vancouver Island, Canada, in 1967.
Yes.
Your parents are Carol, who worked as a waitress, and Barry, a furnace repairman, and you have a younger brother, Jerry. What kind of childhood did you have?
It was great. I lived on the beach, Vancouver Island, so I was always on the beach. Lots of animals, lots of dogs, lots of cats. We really had nothing. We were very, very, very poor. But my parents are still together to this day, madly in love since they were 16.
How long have they been married?
50 years. She's a blonde bombshell. My dad was like kind of the slick back kind of greaser guy with the motorcycle and the cigarettes in the cuff, and they're the bad boy.
Unsurprisingly, you were very mischievous as a young lady. Your brother Jerry, who's 4 years your junior, you once put him in a barrel. You then alerted the entire town that your brother was missing.
I know. My parents were fighting, and I thought, what can I do to kind of get attention off of that? So I hid my brother in a barrel, and I said, don't come out. Then I called the fire department and the police department and had the whole town looking for him.
For how long?
Well, a few hours, but I guess it seemed like a longer time to everybody because I couldn't find him, and he was 4.
And were you... Your brother is 4 years old. You've hidden him in a barrel. Do you go and check on him?
No. And the worst thing was when we did find him and he came out, he told everybody that I put him in there.
Pamela, you were the star of the world's biggest television show. Let's find out what was going on off-screen. How did it feel when Tommy went to jail? Because that was a pretty slam-dunk moment, really.
Well, terrible. The reason that this happened is because he was on steroids. I didn't know that he was on steroids. He was trying to get bigger for me. He's always really skinny, and he's like... It just changed. I didn't know what happened. I thought, is he doing drugs? Is he doing something? Like, what's going on? And he just he would come after me with these black eyes. I didn't know much about steroids and how it makes people aggressive. But over time, I found out that I think that's what happened.
When he wooed you, it was unbelievably persistent, wasn't it? He met you in a club. Tell me how he wooed you.
I had a place called Sanctuary, and I gave everybody a shot of Goldschlager. It was for New Year's. And he thought I only gave it to him. So he came bounding over, wallet chains flying, and sat down next to me and licked my face. And then I licked my friend's face, and we all licked each other's faces around.
Wait a minute, slow down. What do you mean you're all licking each other's faces?
I don't know. He started it. So we just started licking each other's faces around the table.
This random guy you've never met before is licking your face.
Right. And then I wanted to leave, and then Tommy chased me to the car, wanted my number, and my girlfriend's looking at me, no, do not give your number. And so I instantly went, of course I'm giving my number. And then I went to Mexico, and I was with my girlfriend.
So he finds you in Mexico?
Yep. And I alerted the hotel, if anyone with tattoos comes, do not let him near here. And I was already on day 3 of my photo shoot. I'm bored. Let's call Tommy. What's the worst that could happen? He's in town.
That is the worst that could happen, I would think.
I know.
He's in Motley Crue. They're one of the wildest rock bands in the world. The baddest of the bad boys. You know what you're buying into.
I knew it was probably bad, but my girlfriend was saying no, 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 and so I was saying yes, yes, yes. Anyway, he came to see me, and I remember them walking down the hall, and he had 2 friends with him, and they were all wearing those white tank tops with the wallet chains and tattoos, and I didn't know which one was Tommy. I said, which one is he? And they said, oh, he's the one in the middle, and he's looking at me like, going like this, and I was like, okay. So then we go to a club, and he took the ring off his friend's finger and put it on mine and said, do you want to get married? I said, sure.
That night?
Yes.
This is the first time you've been out?
And we were married in 4 days.
You married him 96 hours after your first date?
Because it took us that long to find a priest.
Was this the wedding you'd always dreamed of?
No, and you know, I remember calling my mother after it happened and said, I'm married. She's like, to who? I said, Tommy. And she's like, who's Tommy? And she was so upset. You know, this is one thing she'll never forgive me for. But I invited her to all the other weddings.
That's good of you, Pamela.
Yes.
You and Tommy, it got very volatile, and we've discussed that, and you found out later it was probably driven by steroids, and it made him a lot more aggressive. What was the violence that actually happened there? Who hit who first?
I didn't hit him at all. I had holding Dylan, and he took Brandon and ran out the door with him, and I don't know. It was something I had to call 911, and then when he knew that I did that, then he smashed my head into the phone. It just got very ugly.
And here you have the father of your young son, who you're holding, kicking you, lashing out.
Yeah, I haven't thought about this in a long time, but yeah, it was bad.
You were very brutal in terms of reacting to what he did. This was like, no, I'm not having it. The police are coming, and you're going to get punished. And he was. He went to jail
Well,
for
I mean, I did it because
6 months.
I really thought he was going to go further. I thought he was going to go further. I mean, I thought that he had no concept of who he was or what was going on, and I had 2 babies there, and I really thought he was going to, I don't know, he could have killed me. He could have killed me. I had no idea. I mean, I never felt like I had to call 911 in my life. But, you know, even Tommy says that solitary time, getting sober, and really learning a lot about himself and his limits and what was a good thing for him.
Let's move to the infamous sex tape. When it was made, did you know it had been made?
Well, we filmed everything. Me and Tommy and I would film everything, and we were naked all the time, so it was never a honeymoon tape. It was just him and I being in love and doing crazy things and filming it silly. It was very, I think it was, I've never seen it. I don't want to see it.
Apparently, $77 million, they reckon, was the revenue from this tape. Have you ever seen any of that money?
Never, not a dime, never.
So your private home sex tape with Tommy has now been viewed by millions of random strangers.
Yeah.
And made other random strangers who stole it incredibly rich.
Yes, I know. I hear that, but we really just wanted to make sure our family was okay. The damage was done. It's out. And it was stressful for both of us, and we just wanted to move on with our lives. What is it like?
I mean, even for you, where you'd done lots of, you know, Playboy shoots by then and so on, to have a tape that's that personal, of you engaging in sex with your husband, viewed by the world because someone stole it.
Yeah, it was really devastating. I'm sure this is the biggest reason, along with, you know, I think it was just accumulated, all this stress. We had a lot of stress. This really did not help our marriage.
If you knew what the downside of fame was going to be like, would you set out again on becoming famous? Would you put yourself into the public arena?
I don't think I set out on becoming famous. I think that was, it just kind of happened naturally. But definitely, we just learned as we went. I mean, I was married to Tommy, and we just had paparazzi and people hanging from trees and photographing us in our house. We were actually part of the reason why they changed that law. You cannot shoot into people's homes. Because, you know, Tommy would come out with a sawed-off shotgun and naked and point at people. And then I remember at that time, I think it was hard copy. I remember hard copy said, "For Pamela and Tommy's wedding present, we're not going to press charges." Because it was, yeah, I remember just lying in bed and Tommy bounding across, you know, with the gun and going out on the balcony. I thought, oh no, here we go.
He's going to shoot paparazzi.
He's going to shoot the paparazzi. It's very romantic.
You two are completely
We're insane.
Aren't you?
I know. It was so much fun. We used to go find boulders and wait in the bushes, and then when the paparazzi came, they'd get out of their car and try and come around our house, we would go smash their cars, boulders through their windows, and they'd come back with boulders through their front windows.
You wrote on your blog, "I believe we still have roles to play that are quite different if we're a man or a woman. Heterosexually, we still want the man to make the first move, to be chivalrous, to woo us, and not have that misinterpreted, or make men afraid to act. It can be quite paralysing, literally. I don't think any woman benefits from that." Very timely, given all that's going on at the moment, with all the sexual harassment scandal and so on.
I mean, I'm, you know, supportive of women and feel for women that have been made sexual advances on that they don't want. But I also feel for the men, too. I have 2 young boys, and I always was very worried about a woman falsely accusing them of something and ruining their lives. So I thought, you know, people ask me if I'm a feminist, and I say, you know, I don't want women or men telling me how to be a woman. I prefer men to be passionate and aggressive and make the first move, and you don't want men to feel like they can't. But obviously there are people that go too far. People are just, they use their power. I mean, even, you know, Mr. Weinstein, I remember calling me and he asked me to do a movie called, what was it, Superheroes. And he wanted me to play an invisible girl, and I had an invisible dog. And so I don't believe in animals working on sets. And so I refused to do the film because he refused to let me do the scene with an X on the floor, and he wanted me to have a real dog. I said, it's an invisible dog. I don't need a dog. And I said, I'm not doing it. And then he just really said to me, you'll never work in this town again. I offered Pamela Anderson a role in a movie. Are you crazy? Don't, you know, blah, 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 and lots of very harsh words. And he scared me so much that I did the film because I thought, Harvey Weinstein, oh my God, this is like the most powerful person in Hollywood. And he was just a bully, you know, very rude.
But he was threatening, and he basically made it clear to you, if you didn't do what he wanted with this movie, then he was going to make sure you didn't work in Hollywood again.
Yeah, I didn't. Didn't really work that much.
Even though you ended up doing the movie.
Well, I did it, you know, out of duress.
But because you stood up to him, he didn't like it.
No, he didn't like that. And thinking, especially me, and who are you? This stupid girl, this playmate. You're lucky I'm putting you in a movie at all. You know, no Revlon contract, no big movie is worth sleeping with somebody, you know, to get it. And there are, like, very powerful men in Hollywood, too, that look at me and know that I didn't take the Porsche, the car, to be the #1 girl or get the house or the things or people that offered me these things. I always knew there was strings attached and nothing's for free.
When you saw the downfall of Harvey Weinstein, were you pleased that he got his comeuppance? Did you think that was long overdue?
Like I said, I only know my own experience, and that was bad enough. But, you know, and I think there was already common knowledge in the industry, too, that this was someone to be careful of. You just have to be careful.
What is the precise nature of your relationship with Julian Assange?
Well, I met him through Vivienne Westwood, and she knew we'd get along very well, and she thought it was someone important for me to meet. And I wanted to ask him how I could be more effective as an activist. He's obviously ruffled a few very powerful people's feathers. So when I met him, we just got along very, very well. And I always wanted to support him, so I bring him lunch, I bring him vegan lunches, and...
Apparently he got very sick after one of your vegan sandwiches.
No, I think he was sick, but it had nothing to do with the vegan sandwich.
You didn't try and poison him, or anything?
Yeah, this was another rumour.
Yeah, well, you're a CIA operative trying to poison him.
No, I'm not. But then people say, oh, you're supposed to say that. If I worked for anybody, it wouldn't be the CIA.
But just for the record, you're categorically denying being a CIA operative who tried to kill Julian Assange with a vegan sandwich.
Of course I'm denying this.
It's a great sentence, isn't it?
Yes.
Would you be quite as categoric in denying that there's ever been any other kind of relationship with Mr. Assange?
Well, I mean, this is something I think...
It's kind of yes or no, Pamela.
No, it's not.
You either have or you haven't. Which one is it?
Well, he's a prisoner. It's kind of difficult to have a relationship with somebody.
Right? I mean...
I'm sure. But no, I adore him. I think he's fantastic, and I love our time together. But
so, where are we headed here? We're in the yes camp or the no camp?
No, I don't want to talk about that. No.
No, you don't want to talk about that?
No.
That's not a no, you haven't.
No.
Is it? No. Right? That's not a no, you haven't, is it? You realise if you
so persistent.
Well, I just try to get a straight answer.
No,
I know,
but I am an honest woman. I'm too honest.
Would it be fair to assume if you had had no romantic entanglement, you would have answered the question pretty straightforwardly? Would that be fair to assume?
No. You never know.
Have you or haven't you?
No. I don't want to say this.
No, you don't want to say this?
No, I mean, I don't want to... I just think it's... You know, I think that we'll just leave it as that we're very good friends.
Very good friends?
Very good friends.
That share vegan sandwiches?
Great.
That's it?
That's it, yeah.
That's all you want to say?
Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Yeah. But you could have said just straight away no, right?
That's not as fun.
No. You're passionate about animal welfare, and you've made a surprising ally in President Vladimir Putin. Tell me about that.
Well, I wrote to him and asked him to stop the importation of seal products, because this was 95% of the market, and that could potentially shut down the Canadian seal hunt, which is one of my big goals. So he did. He made it actually illegal to import seal products even into the country.
Did you ever talk directly to him? Well, not have you and Vladimir Putin ever...
No, but he wanted me to come at his inauguration and give him flowers. I was going to give him flowers on his inauguration.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. Obviously, we've been in the same place together sometimes.
And?
I hear in the audience, Jesus. No, it's starting to feel surreal to me, too. Am I lying? Am I telling the truth? I don't know.
No, where are we going here?
Where are we? Where are we? OK.
Well, we're in a studio, and I'm trying to ascertain exactly your relationship with President Vladimir Putin.
I have a great relationship with Russia.
Right.
Yes.
Any relationship with North Korea, Kim Jong-un?
No. Not yet.
Trying to work out where your heart lies is it's an interesting journey.
Yes. We'll see.
From WikiLeaks in an Ecuadorian dungeon to Vladimir Putin. It's all there, isn't it?
One man can't do it all. When does this air so I know when to be out of town?
Are you vegetarian or strict vegan?
I've been vegan. I call myself a naughty vegan.
You surprise me.
I'm a vegan, but if I have a croissant, sometimes I grab the croissant. I do this little, you know, I'm in France.
A croissant?
No, a vegan does not eat butter.
Wow. I mean, you look very
Toxic for your
healthy.
skin.
I've got to say, a lot of vegans I meet look incredibly like they're close to death. You know?
Really?
And it's like you just want to,
No.
you want to force feed them a nice steak.
Well,
you know?
this is the
But
myth.
you actually do look like you're sort of radiating good health.
It's better for your sex life because
Really?
meat makes you impotent.
Really?
Yes. Notice? Did you
As
notice?
a seasoned steak eater, I would take issue with you, Pamela.
Just think how much better it could be without the meat.
How much better could it be if I give up meat?
So much better.
Really?
Yes.
Does that only work with other vegans? Well, think about it.
I think vegans have a better sex life for sure.
Male and female.
Male and female.
So I need to basically find myself a hot vegan.
Or just work on yourself and then.
Yeah, but... Just trying to work out exactly what you meant there. Work on yourself.
Nobody knows you better than you.
Well, it would be sex with someone I love, that's for sure.
Okay.
The campaign you did against pornography, is that because you've got two sons, you know, like who were going through late teens, early 20s, and there's just the internet is now just this sewer, really, of pornography?
I had a friend who has a daughter who was raped by a man who was addicted to pornography, a young man who had never had sex with anybody but went out hunting for people. And I think there's a whole group of people that don't even have sex with human beings. They're just addicted to pornography online. And I wrote a book called The Sensual Revolution. The title keeps changing, but I wrote it with Shmuley, Rabbi Shmuley, which is very funny. I mean, a rabbi and a playmate. Walk into a bar, and what do they talk about? Sex, right? His goal is to try and keep marriages together and fresh and exciting and fun, and I want that too. But I spoke at Oxford, I spoke at Cambridge on the subject, and I had girls coming up to me with tears in their eyes saying, I don't feel comfortable with my boyfriend behaving this way, but I'm not cool if I say something, and I don't want to do the things he wants to do with me because he sees this in pornography. And I say, you don't have to do anything you don't feel comfortable with. And she said, thank you, tears, thank you so much for saying this, because you saying this is different than a religious leader or a parent or something. Like, you're saying this, that this is even affecting your relationships. And I was very clear with my kids. I know they've probably seen a lot of things, but I say this is not what love is. It's not what love looks like. And to be respectful to women, and if they disrespect women, if they disrespect anybody, they disrespect me. And they say, whoa, okay, Mom.
How would you like to be remembered? If you could write your own tombstone. Here lies Pamela Anderson, she...
Is a good girl, was a good girl. I am a good girl.
It literally would be, here lies Pamela
good girl.
Anderson.
Yes. That's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.